Chapter 33-24. Another reason was to use the primordial deity statue as the foundation after establishing a clan. The better the effect of the primordial deity statue, the more experts it could attract. If those experts wanted to join and work for you, there had to be something that attracted them, such as secret techniques and treasures, or powerful strength that could protect others. However, what could be more attractive than increasing one's strength? For example, some heavenly kings or marquis palaces could attract a large number of experts to join because of a good primordial deity statue. For example, the divine statue garden of the Great Void Imperial Academy was a place that ordinary people could not enter to cultivate. If one wanted to cultivate there, the foundation was to become a student of the Great Void Imperial Academy. Moreover, one had to fight in the Purgatory arena to earn Purgatory points before they could cultivate. Not everyone could be like Lu Ming and Autumn Moon, who spent their days in the divine statue garden. Therefore, it was obvious how useful a good primordial deity statue was. Whoosh, countless god factors gathered toward the primordial deity statue. The primordial deity statue was shrouded in a mysterious light. Lu Ming was delighted to see this. Absorbing god factors like this felt great. What was the point of absorbing god factors like before? Jiyumo also sighed. He guessed that this area was probably the place where the primordial deity statue was buried. Otherwise, there would not be such a high concentration of god factors. After all, it had been too long since the battle between the heavenly human tribe and the primordial deity statue. After such a long time, even a powerful being like the primordial deity statue would lose a lot of god factors after death. As time passed, the god factors would become fainter and fainter. One day, there would be no more god factors in this world. By the way, Wan Shin, where did you wake up? Lu Ming's heart stirred as he asked. Lu Ming was very curious about what kind of land of creation it was to be able to nurture an existence like the myriad god. It's not far away. I'll take you there. It might be useful to you, Wan Shin said. Then, he leaped forward. Lu Ming followed. He left the primordial deity statue there and let it absorb god factors on its own. In fact, it was not far. They arrived in a short while. It's there, Wan Shin pointed ahead. Lu Ming looked over. There was a small lake in front of him. Calling it a lake was a bit of an exaggeration. It was more like a pond, about 100 meters in length and width. As soon as he arrived, Lu Ming could feel a terrifying aura approaching him. This aura was primordial and ancient, lofty and invincible. It was as if the most ancient and powerful existence in the universe was sitting there cross-legged. Under the pressure of this aura, Lu Ming almost knelt down. His entire body was in intense pain, and he felt like his body was about to split apart. Dong dong dong, Lu Ming's ancient god's heart could not help but beat like a big drum. Roar. Lu Ming could not help but let out a low growl. He did not use the ancient god tactics, but his body changed involuntarily. He swelled up rapidly and turned into a green-armored ancient god. After he transformed into the green-armored ancient god, the oppressive force outside instantly disappeared. Instead of feeling uncomfortable, Lu Ming felt a sense of familiarity. This is the flesh and blood essence of the primordial divine spirit. My God, there is still so much left, Jiyumo exclaimed. This is the flesh and blood essence left behind by the primordial divine spirit. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The so-called flesh and blood essence of the primordial divine spirit no longer existed. It had melted away, leaving behind only the purest essence. This was definitely a supreme treasure, especially for someone like Lu Ming who cultivated the ancient god body. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. If he could absorb and refine the flesh and blood essence of the primordial divine spirit, his ancient god body would definitely improve. Wan Shin, don't you need these? Lu Ming asked. I don't need them. If I want to improve, I have to rely on cultivation. Wan Shin shook his head. All right, I will go cultivate. You protect me, Lu Ming said. All right, don't worry. Wan Shin nodded. Lu Ming did not hesitate. He stepped forward and stepped into the pond. This pond contained the flesh and blood essence of the primordial divine spirit and contained the terrifying killing intent of the primordial divine spirit. If anyone else had entered, they would have been killed instantly. However, Lu Ming had the ancient god bloodline, the ancient god heart, and cultivated the ancient god body. This killing intent was not targeted at him. Lu Ming sat cross-legged in the pond and circulated the ancient god body. Immediately, the liquid in the pond turned into surging energy that rushed into Lu Ming's body. The moment this energy entered Lu Ming's body, it rushed toward the ancient god heart. Thump, thump, thump. The ancient god heart began to beat violently. Lu Ming circulated the ancient god tactic and began to refine the energy. Soon, the energy overflowed from the ancient god heart and turned into Lu Ming's blood essence. It seeped into every part of Lu Ming's body and into every cell. Lu Ming could clearly feel that his body was transforming. The process of transforming in the direction of becoming stronger was very carefree. Lu Ming was engrossed in this process and focused on cultivating. Unknowingly, a few months had passed. A portion of the liquid in the pond had already disappeared. At this time, Lu Ming's body had finally transformed to the extreme. Roar. Lu Ming could not help but let out a low growl. His body began to make crackling sounds. Then, his body actually became bigger again and swelled crazily. Originally, he was only 200 to 300 meters tall. Now, he was rapidly growing. 400 meters, 500 meters, 600 meters. Finally, he stopped growing when he was 1,000 meters tall. At this time, the color of Lu Ming's scales changed from green to blue. Blue-armored ancient god. Lu Ming's ancient god body, which had been stagnant for a long time, finally transformed into a blue-armored ancient god. What powerful energy! Lu Ming felt that his body was filled with violent energy. It was as though he had really become an ancient god, a primordial divine spirit. Every move of his was filled with violent energy. Amazing. The higher the level of the ancient god body, the harder it is to upgrade it. However, with every upgrade, the increase in strength will also increase by a large margin. Lu Ming was very satisfied. He felt that the blue-armored ancient god body was several times more effective than the green-armored ancient god body. If Lu Ming had previously wanted to kill an ordinary 8th-layer King God Realm expert, it would be a piece of cake for him now that Lu Ming had transformed into a blue-armored ancient god. He could easily kill an 8th-layer King God Realm expert. Continue. Lu Ming continued to operate the ancient god tactics to absorb the liquid. He was only a new blue-armored ancient god. There was still a long way to go before he could transform into a purple-armored ancient god. There was still some liquid left. After absorbing it, the process would be greatly shortened. Perhaps, it could even help Lu Ming break through and become a purple-armored ancient god. At this time, a violent roar came from afar. There was sword energy rushing into the sky, divine light surging, and the roar of monsters. Chapter 33-25. A great battle broke out in the distance. Divine light surged. Lu Ming was alarmed. He looked into the distance and saw figures flashing in the void. They were fighting fiercely with the monsters. The others are here. Lu Ming frowned. If the others found this place, Lu Ming would not be able to cultivate as much as he wanted. He would not be able to let the primordial god statue absorb the god factor. Wan Shen, can you drive them away? Lu Ming asked Wan Shen telepathically. Leave it to me. Do you want to kill them or drive them away? Wan Shen asked. Just drive them away, Lu Ming said. After all, apart from Wu Fan, Chu Chengkong, and Liu Quan, the rest of the people who came in this time did not have any feud with him. Lu Ming naturally would not kill all of them. All right, I'll take care of them soon. Wan Shen nodded. His figure flashed and he left the place. Not long after, a stone spear pierced through the sky. It exploded with violent energy waves and was accompanied by angry roars. However, the commotion did not last long before it quieted down. Not long after, Wan Shen appeared not far away in a flash. I drove them away, Wan Shen said. All right. Lu Ming smiled. He was not surprised. With Wan Shen's strength, It was easy for him to kill the heavenly human tribe experts, let alone ordinary peak divine kings. It did not matter if there were more of them. Lu Ming continued to cultivate. Wan Shen stood guard for Lu Ming. If anything happened, he could deal with it easily. A year passed just like that. Lu Ming had completely absorbed and refined the liquid in the pond. His ancient god's heart was filled with exuberant life force, beating non-stop like the beating of a divine drum. Unfortunately, his ancient god body did not evolve again. It was still the blue-armored ancient god body. However, Lu Ming had a feeling that he had reached the peak of the blue-armored ancient god body. He was not far away from evolving into the purple-armored ancient god body. Not only that, during the evolution of his ancient god body, Lu Ming's cultivation base also increased. During this time, Lu Ming's cultivation base had broken through one more level. He had reached the fifth sky of King God realm. Lu Ming had just broken through to the fourth tier of the King God realm. It was incredible that he had broken through to the next tier. Phew, Lu Ming exhaled and ended his cultivation. With my current strength, if I go all out, can I fight with a peak divine king? Lu Ming smiled and clenched his fist, feeling the powerful force. Of course, Lu Ming was referring to ordinary peak divine kings. If it was a peak divine king like the celestial race, he would definitely not be a match. I wonder how the primordial idol is doing with the absorption. With a thought, Lu Ming flew towards the primordial statue. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at the place where the primordial idol was placed. After more than a year of absorbing God essence, the primordial idol was covered with a layer of mysterious light. It was more dazzling and the fluctuation was more intense. However, there was still an endless amount of God essence flying towards the primordial idol. The amount of God essence in this area was shocking, as if it was endless. Anyway, it's still early. I should continue to absorb it. Lu Ming thought for a while. Then, he came to the primordial idol and sat down cross-legged. He started to comprehend the origin God essence. Instantly, he fell into a wonderful state. It was as if he saw countless primordial God essences fighting fiercely. Different kinds of God essences were surging. Lu Ming found the corresponding God essences easily. The effect is so good, Lu Ming was overjoyed. He found that the effect of cultivating under this primordial idol was comparable to the other idols in the Garden of Gods. Although it was not as good as the best idols in the Garden of Gods, it was not too far off. And this was only the effect of absorbing for more than a year. There was still time. Lu Ming could stay for another 7 or 8 years. By then, how amazing would the effect of the primordial idol be? Lu Ming was looking forward to it. Next, Lu Ming cultivated in peace and waited for time to pass. Time flew by. 1 year, 2 years, as time passed, as the primordial idol absorbed more God essence, the mysteries it revealed became more shocking. Every time Lu Ming closed his eyes to cultivate, it was as if there was a primordial God sitting beside him. Lu Ming bathed in the vast primordial God essence. His understanding of various God essences became deeper and deeper. Soon, more than 7 years had passed. At this time, the mysteries of the primordial idol had reached an astonishing level. It had completely surpassed any idol in the Garden of Gods, and not just by a little bit. In the future, Lu Ming did not need to cultivate in the Garden of Gods anymore. He could cultivate under his own primordial idol, and the effects were many times better than in the Garden of Gods. I'm going out. I can't bear to part with it. Lu Ming sighed. After absorbing for so long, he still hadn't finished absorbing all the God spiritual factors in this territory. There was still a lot left. Lu Ming regretted giving the small primordial idol to the Dark Ape Battle tribe. Otherwise, he could have taken it here to absorb it. But no matter how reluctant he was, Lu Ming had to leave. He had been here for more than 9 years. A total of 10 years. He had less than a year left. It would take a long time to return to where they came from. He had to leave plenty of time. With a wave of his hand, Lu Ming put the primordial idol into the Jingyu scroll. Myriad gods, let's go out, Lu Ming said. Okay. Myriad gods nodded repeatedly, looking excited and expectant. Since he woke up, He had stayed in this place. In his soul, there was some incomplete information. He knew that the outside world was vast and he had been looking forward to it. Unfortunately, he could not get out. Now that he could get out, he was naturally looking forward to it. Immediately, Lu Ming brought myriad gods and flew in the direction he came from. After flying for a while, Lu Ming nodded and saw a group of people in the distance. The leader was a young man and he was Di Jenny. Obviously, Di Jenny had brought experts to this continent to search for God essence. They were among the group of people that I chased away back then, myriad gods muttered. Lu Ming smiled. Di Jenny was impressive. But when he encountered myriad gods, he could only be chased away. At this moment, Di Jenny also noticed Lu Ming. When he saw myriad gods beside Lu Ming, his eyes were filled with shock and fear. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He did not stop and continued to fly forward. Soon, they were about to reach the edge of the continent. Someone's here. All of a sudden, the myriad god spoke and stopped. At the same time, Lu Ming was alarmed. He sensed a sense of danger coming from all directions. He could not help but stop in his tracks. Who is it? Lu Ming shouted coldly as he looked around. Hehehe, Lu Ming, I did not expect you to discover us. A sneer was heard. Then, in a flash, a group of people appeared and surrounded Lu Ming and myriad gods. Wu Fan. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Chapter 33-26. Lu Ming had not expected to meet Wu Fan at the edge of the mainland. Lu Ming looked around and realized that Wu Fan had not lost any of his men. There were still 36 of them. Just the two of you. Lu Ming, it seems like you have lost all your men. Ha ha ha. Now, let's see how you will die. Wu Fan laughed and revealed a cold killing intent. He looked as though he was sure that Lu Ming would die. Wan Shin, were they not among the men you chased away? Lu Ming ignored Wu Fan and sent a message to Wan Shin. They were not among us. Wan Shin replied. Lu Ming nodded. If Wu Fan and his men were among the men that Wan Shin had chased away, Wu Fan would not be so arrogant when he saw Lu Ming with Wan Shin. He looked as though he was sure that he would defeat Lu Ming. Seeing that Lu Ming had ignored him, Wu Fan's face turned ferocious and his killing intent intensified. Brat, you still dare to be arrogant in front of me. I will make you die a horrible death. No, I will not let you die so easily. I will make you wish that you were dead. Wu Fan roared like a wild beast. Is that so? I would like to see how you are going to make me wish that I was dead. Lu Ming smiled faintly and stepped forward, walking toward Wu Fan. Wu Fan was shocked and retreated. At the same time, he roared, "Attack! Cripple this bastard! Brat, kneel down and apologize to young master." A middle-aged man stepped out from behind Wu Fan and the aura of a peak divine king exploded. The violent aura pressed down on Lu Ming like a mountain and wanted to force Lu Ming to kneel down. However, Lu Ming's body shook slightly and blocked the pressure. The middle-aged man was shocked. He had not expected Lu Ming to be able to block his pressure. He was furious and slapped down on Lu Ming. He shouted, "Kneel down." A huge palm pressed down on Lu Ming's head. Swoosh. Behind Lu Ming, a stone spear stabbed out towards the palm. With a poochy sound, the palm was directly pierced through, and blood flowed out. Ah! The middle-aged man let out a blood-curdling scream and retreated. However, the stone spear was even faster. It caught up to the middle-aged man in an instant. The middle-aged man let out a furious roar and tried his best to block it. However, it was useless. His defense was penetrated. Then, his head was also pierced by the stone spear. The middle-aged man, a peak divine king, was killed in an instant. Wu Fan and the others were stunned as they stared blankly at Wan Shin. That was a peak divine king, yet he was killed so easily. Who was the myriad god? Damn it! Let's attack together and kill these two bastards. After being stunned for a while, Wu Fan finally reacted and let out a wolf-like howl. Boom boom boom, Wu Fan's subordinates erupted like volcanoes, bursting with powerful auras. At the same time, they attacked. All sorts of attacks were launched at Lu Ming and Myriad God. An ancient and desolate aura erupted from Wan Shen's body. Then, a stone bell appeared, enveloping him and Lu Ming within it. The attacks from all directions landed on the stone bell. However, only clanging sounds could be heard. They did not break through the stone bell's defense. Kill. Then, Wan Shen shouted. He opened his mouth and a silver river rushed out. 2 experts were enveloped by the silver river. They screamed as their bodies melted in the silver river. At the same time, Wan Shen held the long spear in his hand and charged out. The long spear swept out and the tip of the spear broke through the opponent's attack, cutting off the head of a Peak Divine King. The moment he attacked, he killed 3 Peak Divine King realm experts. After killing 3 people, Wan Shen did not stop moving. He continued to attack and killed his way into the crowd. Like a tiger entering a pack of wolves, the battle was completely one-sided. Screams could be heard as people were killed at every moment. In less than a minute, more than a dozen of the 36 Peak Divine King realm experts were killed. Not far away, Wu Fan's body was trembling. His face was pale and there was no trace of blood. Fear, endless fear. He was shrouded in endless fear. Those were Peak Divine Kings. However, in the hands of Wan Shen, they were as weak as little chicks. He was not the only one. The remaining people were also terrified. Young master, let's go. An old man turned and ran. He wanted to escape with Wu Fan. Wan Shen, don't leave a single one alive. Kill them all. Don't let them escape. Lu Ming shouted. Understood. Kill. Wan Shen shouted. His aura became even more violent. Stone sabers, stone swords, stone pagodas, etc. appeared around him. They were all secret techniques of origin. Wu Fan and the remaining people were almost scared to death. All of them were secret techniques of origin. There were more than a dozen of them. This was too terrifying. It was beyond their knowledge. What kind of monster had they encountered? Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. All kinds of secret techniques of origin shot out. In an instant, 7 to 8 experts were killed. Run. The remaining people were almost scared to death. They could not care less about Wu Fan and fled in all directions. All of you, stay here. Wan Shen shouted and chased after the other party. A pair of wings appeared behind Wan Shen's back. With a flap, his speed increased tremendously. In an instant, he caught up with an expert. With a swing of his stone saber, he killed the expert. Then, with a flap of his wings, he chased after the next person. This was also a secret technique of origin. Lu Ming had not seen it before. How many secret techniques of origin has this guy mastered? Lu Ming was envious. What was a monster? What was a monster? Lu Ming had always been regarded as a monster. However, he now felt that Wan Shen was the real monster. He had mastered so many secret techniques of origin. There were offensive, defensive, and speed types. He had everything. There was no weakness. Soon, the second expert was caught and killed by Wan Shen. Wan Shen continued to chase after the next expert. At this moment, an old man was carrying Wu Fan and running in a direction. Wan Shen, leave that guy to me. Lu Ming transmitted a message to Wan Shen. He wanted him to chase after the others and leave Wu Fan to him. Then, he used the 9 Heavens Kuan Peng technique and chased after Wu Fan. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, using the 9 Heavens Kuan Peng technique with all his might, his speed was not any slower than an ordinary Peak Divine King. He followed closely behind Wu Fan. The old man carried Wu Fan and flew out of the continent. They flew into the starry sky and did not dare to stop for a moment. Lu Ming chased after them. Their speed was too shocking. Soon, they had crossed a distance of tens of billions of miles and leaped over many broken planets. This brat dares to chase after us alone. Stop and kill him, Wu Fan roared. His face was ferocious. He hated Lu Ming to the core. Now that he saw Lu Ming chasing after them alone while Wan Shen chased after the others, his killing intent surged. He wanted to kill Lu Ming. The old man's eyes flickered and he stopped with Wu Fan. Go and kill him. Wu Fan pointed at Lu Ming and roared. Chapter 33-27. The old man beside Wu Fan was also a peak supreme god. In his opinion, killing Lu Ming was as easy as lifting a finger. It would not take much time. Kill. The old man did not hesitate and charged towards Lu Ming. His palm was like a knife as it slashed towards Lu Ming. He had used all his strength to kill Lu Ming in an instant. The strength of Wan Shen terrified him. He had to kill Lu Ming in the shortest time possible and escape with Wu Fan. As long as they escaped, they could report this matter to the Grand Tutor. Lu Ming had killed so many people from the Grand Tutor's residence. They could easily find a reason to convict Lu Ming and let Lu Ming die without a burial place. Rumble. The old man's palm slashed down and the void exploded. The violent force pressed down on Lu Ming. Peak Supreme God. I want to see how strong you are. Lu Ming shouted. In an instant, he activated the battle character art to increase his combat strength by 4 times. He circulated all the divine power in his body and displayed the heavenly demon golden body. He threw a punch at the old man's palm. How dare you fight me head-on? You are overestimating yourself. The old man sneered. Lu Ming was a junior who had just joined the Great Void Imperial Family Saint Academy. Yet, he dared to fight him head-on instead of retreating. In his opinion, Lu Ming was an idiot and he was courting death. He wanted to use this move to smash Lu Ming into pieces. Boom. Finally, the 2 attacks collided and there was a terrifying explosion. The void shook violently and shockwaves spread out in all directions. Then, the old man and Lu Ming's bodies shook violently and they retreated. The difference was that the old man only retreated 3 steps while Lu Ming retreated more than 10 steps. Although the old man retreated even less, his heart was in a perilous situation at that moment. You. The old man stared at Lu Ming in disbelief. Just now, he had felt that Lu Ming's punch contained an incomparably terrifying power. That punch had actually forced him back. As for Lu Ming, he was only pushed back a dozen steps and was completely fine. How was this possible? He was a peak divine king, while Lu Ming was merely a new student who had just joined the Great Void Imperial Academy. Yet, Lu Ming was actually able to resist him. If he had not experienced it personally, he would not have believed it. What are you doing? Why aren't you killing him? What are you doing here? Behind him, Wu Fan roared. He was incomparably irritable. He thought that the old man didn't use much strength, which was why he didn't kill Lu Ming. What time was it now? It was a matter of life and death. What if that terrifying young man from before came chasing after them? At this time, the old man was still dilly-dallying. He wanted nothing more than to kick the old man in the face. The old man grumbled in his heart, but it was impossible for him to back down now. Kill. The old man roared and pushed his strength to the extreme. He displayed a terrifying secret skill and charged towards Lu Ming. Ancient God Tactic. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He displayed the Ancient God Tactic. His body swelled rapidly and turned into a blue-armored ancient god. He was 1,000 meters tall. This is a blue-armored ancient god. Wu Fan saw it and almost bit his tongue. He was trembling in fear. Lu Ming had actually cultivated the ancient god tactic to the blue-armored level. He had never heard of this before. After turning into a blue-armored ancient god, Lu Ming grabbed the void. The overbearing god spear appeared and was caught in his hand. The overbearing god spear vibrated and was incomparably huge. It whipped towards the old man, causing the void to explode continuously. Boom. The 2 sides collided again. This time, both of them retreated. However, the distance between them was about the same. How is this possible? The old man was extremely shocked. Previously, it could be said that he had not used all of his strength. However, now that he had used all of his strength, not only did he not gain the upper hand, but they were also on par. He did not want to fight anymore. He wanted to retreat and escape with Wu Fan. However, Lu Ming would not give him the chance. Yin-Yang God Eye. Lu Ming shouted and displayed his Yin-Yang God Eye. His eyes turned into two different colored vortexes. Terrifying runes appeared in the void. They were like silk threads that wrapped around the old man. The old man's face changed. His body glowed and a few sacred weapons flew out. Under his control, they attacked with all their might. However, those silk threads were formed by the yin-yang godai runes. They were extremely tough and could not be broken. At the same time, Lu Ming waved the overbearing god spear and controlled the gate of domination to attack the old man. Boom! Boom! The two of them fought fiercely, and in the blink of an eye, they had exchanged more than 10 blows. At this moment, Wu Fan finally realized that something was wrong. How was it that the old man was not using all of his strength? It was obvious that Lu Ming was too strong and the old man was evenly matched. How is this possible? How is this possible? Impossible. Wu Fan shook his head. He could not accept it. Lu Ming could actually fight a peak divine king. During the Taishu dynasty, although Lu Ming was strong, he was not much stronger than him. However, now, he could probably kill him with a flip of his hand. This despicable piece of trash, how is this possible? Wu Fan kept growling. He was so jealous that he was going crazy. In his opinion, Lu Ming did not have any powerful backing and was of humble origin. However, he had the Imperial Preceptor and the Imperial Preceptor's residence behind him. He had plenty of resources and could get anything he wanted. However, in terms of cultivation and combat strength, he could not compare to Lu Ming. Why was he not the one who had improved so quickly? However, he immediately shuddered. The old man could not kill Lu Ming. When that terrifying existence arrived, he would be dead meat. Thinking of this, he could no longer care about the old man. He turned and ran. However, just as Wu Fan turned, a figure appeared behind him. It was Wan Shen. Ah! Seeing Wan Shen, Wu Fan screamed in fright. He instinctively attacked Wan Shen. However, he was slapped in the face by Wan Shen. He only regained his senses after a long while. Let me go. I am the son of the Imperial Preceptor. My father is the current Imperial Preceptor. If you let me go, I can give you anything. I can even let you have a meteoric rise. You can get whatever you want. Why do you have to follow that Lu Ming? Wu Fan shouted. He wanted to bribe Wan Shen. However, what he received was another slap from Wan Shen. This time, Wan Shen used more force. Wan Shen screamed in pain. He was severely injured and was half dead. Wan Shen held him in his hand. Lu Ming and the old man were still fighting. They had already exchanged more than 100 moves. Awesome. This is awesome. The strength of a peak divine king is indeed powerful. Lu Ming felt extremely carefree. His various attacks became smoother and smoother. Gradually, he began to gain the upper hand. As for the old man, he became more and more alarmed. When he saw Wan Shen appear, he panicked. You have lost your fighting spirit. What's the use of keeping you alive? I'll send you on your way, Lu Ming said coldly. Boom. The aura in his body surged again. The battle formula had quintupled his combat power. Now, the probability of Lu Ming activating the battle formula was about 1 in 10. During the previous battle, Lu Ming had been trying to activate it. Now, he had finally succeeded. Chapter 33-28. After activating the battle character art, Lu Ming's combat strength had increased by a notch. Boom! The overbearing god spear flew across the sky and clashed with the old man. The old man was sent flying back as his body trembled and blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. His eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. In the previous battle, Lu Ming did not use his full strength and even hid his strength. What kind of monster was he? Run! The old man did not dare to continue the battle and wanted to run away. However, there were runes formed by the yin-yang godai that wrapped around him. These runes had terrifying power. If he was an 8th realm divine king, he would have been shredded into pieces by the runes. The divine force around the old man's body trembled and was almost cut apart. You won't be able to escape today. Die. Lu Ming said coldly. The divine force in his body surged into Lu Ming's body. Buzz, buzz. A sun and a moon appeared above Lu Ming's head. The sun and moon pressed down on the old man. At the same time, the sovereign's gate came crashing down. Lu Ming wielded the overbearing god spear and executed the god of war strike. Origin secret technique. The old man let out a desperate and incredulous roar as he tried his best to resist. However, his fate was sealed. Boom, boom. After a series of explosions, the old man coughed out blood as he was sent flying. He was severely injured. Sizzle. The runes formed by the yin-yang god eye wrapped around the old man. The old man was severely injured and could not resist the attack. He was shredded into pieces by the runes and died on the spot. Lu Ming had single-handedly killed a peak divine king. Although it was just an ordinary peak divine king, it was enough to prove Lu Ming's strength. One should know that a peak divine king in the 9 extinction Heavenly King Mansion was equivalent to the Jin family and the Qin family. They were overlords. However, Lu Ming had already grown to such a level. Origin secret technique. So many origin secret techniques. Wu Fan was almost scared to death. His eyes were wide open as he stared at Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming put away all of his origin secret techniques. His body shrank and returned to his normal state. He felt limited and exhausted. The myriad gods are still the best, Lu Ming could not help but think. Myriad God had used so many origins secret techniques, but he remained unperturbed. And if not for the help of the quantifying character formula, he would not have been able to do it at all. Whoosh! Lu Ming took a step forward and arrived beside Wan Shen. Cold killing intent enveloped Wu Fan. Now, let's see who will kill who. Lu Ming looked at Wu Fan coldly. Lu Ming, you dare to kill me. My father is the state preceptor. If you kill me and my father finds out, you will be dead. Everyone related to you will die. Wu Fan roared angrily as he glared coldly at Lu Ming. Even now, he was still threatening Lu Ming. Lu Ming was so angry that he laughed. Now, you are the only one left. I don't dare to kill you. If I kill you, who will know? Lu Ming said indifferently. Temph, I'll tell you the truth. My father knows that I'm going to kill you this time. If I die and you don't, my father will definitely suspect that you did it. He'll capture you and search your soul. When the time comes, the truth will be revealed. Wu Fan continued to threaten. Lu Ming was slightly stunned. This was indeed as Wu Fan had said. The state preceptor definitely knew that Wu Fan wanted to kill Lu Ming. If Wu Fan died here, the state preceptor would definitely suspect that Lu Ming did it. With the state preceptor's tyranny, what could he not do? However, to let Wu Fan go just like that? Impossible. He had already offended Wu Fan and killed so many experts from the state preceptor's residence. Even if he let Wu Fan go, the state preceptor and the state preceptor's residence would not let him go. Since that was the case, why not kill him? Seeing that Lu Ming was hesitating, Wu Fan thought that Lu Ming was afraid and did not dare to kill him. A smug sneer appeared on his face as he said, Lu Ming, your talent is very good and you are very strong. You are much stronger than those useless subordinates of mine. As long as you pledge your allegiance to me, swear that you will work for me in the future, and give me your treasures, I can let this matter rest and let bygones be bygones. Lu Ming almost laughed. How could this guy be so stupid? His IQ was too low. Did he really think that he could scare him with just a few words? Not only did he ask Lu Ming to submit to him, but he also coveted Lu Ming's treasures and opportunities. He was really stupid. Sorry, but I have a strong point. I don't believe in evil. I want to see how your father will deal with me after I kill you. Lu Ming sneered. His cold killing intent was extremely dense. A long spear appeared in his hand. No, at this moment, Wu Fan's face changed drastically. He could clearly feel Lu Ming's killing intent. It was not just for show. He really wanted to kill him. He panicked. He was afraid. He was terrified. He could no longer stay calm. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I can give you anything you want. Power, beauties, treasures, cultivation techniques, divine crystals. I can give you anything. Don't. Wu Fan screamed hysterically. However, before he could finish his words, Lu Ming's long spear had already pierced out. Poochie. Wu Fan's head was pierced through. His soul was destroyed and he died on the spot. Everything you said, I will rely on myself to get it, Lu Ming said in a low voice. He then kept Wu Fan's storage ring. Wan Shen, have you killed all those people? Lu Ming asked. Not a single one was left alive. Wan Shen said. Good. Let's go and collect their storage rings. Lu Ming said. Then, Lu Ming burned Wu Fan's body to ashes. He collected the storage rings of the 30 experts from the Imperial Tutor's residence. As for the corpses, he also burned them to ashes. To be honest, he could not let the Imperial Tutor know about this. Otherwise, the Imperial Tutor would definitely go crazy. After making sure that there were no loopholes, they left the place. After flying far away, Lu Ming took out Wu Fan's storage ring and frowned. With a final wave of his hand, he threw Wu Fan's storage ring away. This was Wu Fan's storage ring. Who knew if the Imperial Tutor could sense it through some means? It was too dangerous to carry it around. As for the storage rings of the 36 experts from the Imperial Tutor's residence, Lu Ming transferred the treasures into his own storage ring. As for the empty storage rings, he threw them away as well. After settling everything, Lu Ming led Wan Shen to the place where he had agreed to meet with the Dark Ape fighting tribe. After some time, Lu Ming arrived at the place where he had agreed to meet with the Dark Ape fighting tribe. From afar, Lu Ming saw the Dark Ape fighting tribe. Combat ancestor. The Dark Ape fighting tribe also saw Lu Ming. When they saw that Lu Ming was fine, they were overjoyed and relaxed. When Lu Ming left alone to lure the golden-haired and silver-haired men away, they were very worried. During this period, they blamed themselves for not protecting Lu Ming. If something happened to Lu Ming, they would not be able to answer to Yuan Huan and Yuan Tsong. I'm fine. Lu Ming smiled. This is. The Dark Ape fighting tribe looked at Wan Shen. He is a new friend of mine, Lu Ming said casually. Chapter 33-29. Lu Ming did not go into detail about the origin of the myriad gods. After all, it was too shocking. If it was exposed, it would cause a huge uproar. It was better to keep it a secret for now. Seeing that Lu Ming did not go into detail, the Dark Ape battle tribe naturally did not probe further. By the way, has your primordial deity statue been consecrated? Lu Ming asked. Yes, please take a look at it. An elderly Dark Ape battle tribe member took out the primordial deity statue that was 100 feet tall. Lu Ming immediately felt a mysterious fluctuation. Lu Ming knew that the primordial deity statue had indeed been consecrated. Judging from the fluctuation, it was probably not just consecrated. After the consecration, it had at least absorbed a lot of God factor. Clearly, the Dark Ape battle tribe had not been idle all these years. Alright, let's go out now. Lu Ming put away the primordial deity statue and headed to the place where they had entered. They had left the coordinates there. All they had to do was follow the coordinates. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. On this day, they were flying when they encountered a group of people. Liu Quan. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with murderous intent. The group of people in front of him was Liu Quan and another prodigy from the Crown Prince's residence. Lu Ming, Liu Quan and the others saw Lu Ming from afar and their murderous intent was apparent. However, when they saw that Lu Ming had so many people with him, their expressions turned grave and they did not dare to attack. He had seen the combat strength of the Dark Ape battle tribe. They were extremely strong. There were only about 30 of them in total. There was no way they could kill Lu Ming and the others. If they fought, both sides would suffer. Chen-ph, let's let him go for now. When we get out, we'll see how he dies. That's right. When we report this to the Crown Prince, there are 100 ways to kill him. Liu Quan and the other young man discussed in secret. Then, they retreated and flew into the distance. Lu Ming's eyes twitched, but he did not chase after them. If he wanted to make a move, he had to kill all of them. Otherwise, it would be very troublesome. And this time, the other party had chosen to retreat from a distance. Even if Lu Ming wanted to give chase, he couldn't kill all of them. so he might as well let them go. The rest of the journey was very smooth. They didn't stop, and they didn't look for the divine essence either. They hurried on with all their might, and their speed was extremely fast. When they returned to the place where they had prepared the coordinates, there were still a few months before the 10-year deadline. They waited quietly. A few months passed in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, a powerful force enveloped them and they disappeared from this place. In the next moment, they returned to the place where they came from. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the area, and he saw several figures appearing at the side. He saw Di Jenny, Shu Wuya, Chen Shengxian, and the others appear with their subordinates. These people all suffered losses. Some lost 2 or 3 people, while others lost 7 or 8 people. Lu Ming even saw a young man with only 10 or so people standing next to him. It was obvious that he had encountered a crisis and suffered heavy losses. Of course, Liu Quan and the other supreme talent under the Crown Prince had also suffered heavy losses. At this time, the others also noticed Liu Quan and the young man, and they were all shocked. Liu Quan and Mu Yuan actually suffered such heavy losses. The experts they brought were all the Crown Prince's elites. Not only were they peak divine kings, but they were also experts among peak divine kings. The two of them actually lost more than half of their forces. Who has the strength to kill them? They probably encountered a divine Lord Realm monster. That's the only possibility, some people were discussing, thinking that Liu Quan and Mu Yuan were unlucky to have encountered a divine Lord Realm monster. That was why they suffered such heavy losses. However, no one looked at Wan Shen. This was because before they came out, Lu Ming had given Wan Shen a set of black robes so that he wouldn't be recognized. After all, Wan Shen had shown his terrifying strength when he chased some people away, and it wouldn't be good if he was recognized. Immediately, a few elders led Lu Ming and the others away from the entrance of the broken universe. After leaving this place, Lu Ming led the members of the Nether Ape fighting tribe back to the courtyard where Lanshong was staying. He also got Wan Shen to settle down there. After that, Lu Ming returned to the Great Void Imperial Academy. Let's go and report to the Crown Prince. Liu Quan and Mu Yuan led their men back to the Crown Prince's residence. Not long after, in a large hall in the Crown Prince's residence, Liu Quan and Mu Yuan knelt in fear. The Crown Prince sat above them. At this time, the Crown Prince's body emitted a terrifying aura that suppressed Liu Quan and Mu Yuan until they couldn't breathe. 2 pieces of trash. After a while, the Crown Prince spoke, his voice cold. Liu Quan and Mu Yuan both shuddered and broke out in cold sweat. They didn't dare to speak. Lu Ming, how dare you touch my people? Very well, I will kill you with my own hands. The Crown Prince said ferociously. He suddenly stood up and was about to charge into the Great Void Imperial Academy to kill Lu Ming with his own hands. Crown Prince, you can't. At this time, an elder stepped forward and bowed. The Crown Prince's eyes flashed as he looked at the elder. The elder's name was Han Fengye. He was powerful and resourceful. Crown Prince, Lu Ming is just a new student of the Great Void Imperial Academy. If the Crown Prince kills him personally, it will damage the Crown Prince's reputation. If the second prince uses this opportunity to accuse you of abusing your power and killing the innocent, it will be bad, Han Fengye said. The Crown Prince frowned slightly. He knew that Han Fengye was right. As the Crown Prince, if he personally dealt with a junior, it would cause gossip, especially from the second prince. In the Taishu dynasty, the only one who could go against the Crown Prince was the second prince. In the eyes of the people of the Taishu dynasty, the second prince was superior to the Crown Prince in terms of talent and intelligence. Therefore, the second prince had gathered a large number of powerful subordinates. Even the Crown Prince had to be careful. What you said makes sense. How about this, Han Fengye? You go and bring Lu Ming here and execute him. The Crown Prince waved his hand casually as if he had sentenced Lu Ming to death. Yes. Han Fengye accepted the order and then looked at Liu Quan and Mu Yuan. You two, come with me. Yes, yes. Liu Quan and Mu Yuan heaved a sigh of relief and quickly followed Han Fengye. Lu Ming returned to the Great Void Imperial Academy and saw Qiu Yu. When Qiu Yu saw that Lu Ming was fine, She was naturally as happy as a little bird. The two of them cuddled for a while and then discussed their plans to leave the Great Void Imperial Academy and find Blue Merchant to discuss the establishment of a family. Boom. At this time, a terrifying aura came from outside. A huge pressure like a mountain pressed down on the palace where Lu Ming and the others were staying. Rumble. Their palace began to shake violently. Powerful runes appeared all around the palace, forming a light shield that enveloped the palace. Chapter 3330. Lu Ming and Qiu Autumn Moon were in the top 10 during the Taishu Imperial Court's opening ceremony. The palace they lived in was of the highest quality and was protected by a powerful formation. Now that it was under pressure, the formation automatically defended itself. Who's there? Lu Ming and Qiu Autumn Moon's expressions changed. This was the Taishu Imperial Court. Who would be so bold as to attack them in their palace? Lu Ming, get out here. A loud shout was heard. Liu Quan. Lu Ming could tell that it was Liu Quan's voice. It seems like the Crown Prince's people are here to punish us. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. The pressure was too strong. It was definitely not from Liu Quan. It should be another expert from the Crown Prince's residence. At this moment, the commotion had alerted the other students. Many of them flew out of their residences and looked in the direction of the commotion, curious expressions on their faces. What a terrifying expert. Who is that? How dare he act so arrogantly here? Some students looked at Liu Quan, Mu Yuan, and Han Fengyi with curiosity. That aura was naturally emitted by Han Fengyi. It was as deep as the sea, terrifying to the extreme. That's someone from the Crown Prince's residence. And that old man seems to be the Crown Prince's confidant. No wonder the elders of the Taishu Imperial Court disappeared. They didn't make a move. Many people were discussing. The Crown Prince's power was not to be underestimated. The current Sage Emperor had ruled the Taishu dynasty for countless years. It was said that the Sage Emperor's lifespan was running out. Once the Sage Emperor fell, the Crown Prince would inherit the throne. This showed how powerful his power was. Let's go out and take a look. Lu Ming and Qiu Autumn Moon left the palace, but they did not leave the protection of the formation. The formation was like a sphere, enveloping the palace. As soon as they went out, they saw Liu Quan, Mu Yuan, and Han Fengyi. Lu Ming, you're finally out. Liu Quan revealed a murderous intent when he saw Lu Ming. Liu Quan, why did you come here and disturb my cultivation? Lu Ming asked. Lu Ming, come with me to the Crown Prince's residence. Cold Breeze Knight said. So you're going to the Crown Prince's residence? I'm sorry, but I'm going into seclusion to cultivate. I'm afraid I won't be free for a while. Lu Ming smiled faintly. No time. Lu Ming, the Crown Prince wants to see you. Liu Quan stared at Lu Ming. The Crown Prince wants to see me? What is it? Just say it. Lu Ming said. If he went to the Crown Prince's residence, his life and death would be beyond his control. How could Lu Ming go there? Nonsense. Why would the Crown Prince need a reason to see you? Hurry up and come with us. Mu Yuan shouted. I have a bad temper. If I don't know what's going on, I won't go even if you beat me to death. If you want to use the power of the Crown Prince's residence to attack me for no reason, then I have nothing to say. Lu Ming said indifferently. He had a stubborn look on his face. He even vaguely pointed out that the Crown Prince's residence shouldn't bully others. You, Liu Quan and Mu Yuan were trembling with anger. In that case, this old man will say it directly. When you entered the Broken Universe, you killed 36 peak Divine King experts of the Crown Prince's residence. This is a heinous crime. You must be punished. Come with this old man to the Crown Prince's residence and receive your punishment. Han Fengyi said coldly. As soon as these words came out, many people were shocked. This time, 36 peak Divine Kings of the Crown Prince's residence had died in the Broken Universe. This was definitely a huge loss. No wonder the Crown Prince's residence came to arrest them. Ha ha ha, so it's because of this matter. I'm sorry, this matter has nothing to do with me. You can go back now. Lu Ming laughed. It has nothing to do with you. Nonsense. You're the one who killed them, Liu Quan shouted angrily. I killed them? Liu Quan, you must have evidence before you speak. Let me ask you, did I kill your people or did the people I brought kill them? Lu Ming questioned loudly. Although you didn't kill them, they died because of you, Liu Quan said angrily. Died because of us? Haha, did we set up a formation to kill you? Or what? From the beginning to the end, we didn't even lift a finger. Your people were killed by the monsters in the broken universe. What does it have to do with me? Lu Ming said loudly. You're lying. Those monsters were lured here by you. You deliberately lured them to us, Liu Quan roared with an ugly expression. Ha ha ha, ridiculous, ridiculous. I lured them here. What a joke. Lu Ming laughed and said, when we first met, you brought a group of people to surround me and wanted to kill me. Then, you were inexplicably attacked by the monsters. How can you blame this on me? Ridiculous. You, Liu Quan and Mu Yuan's faces flushed red. They didn't know how to answer him. The situation at that time was indeed as Lu Ming said. They were the ones who wanted to kill Lu Ming. When they first saw Lu Ming, they brought people to surround Lu Ming and his group. That was why they were besieged. We stood there and didn't move. You rushed up to kill me. You were unlucky to be surrounded by the monsters. You want to blame this on me? Haha, then I have nothing to say. Lu Ming said indifferently. Liu Quan and Mu Yuan almost vomited blood. Han Fengyi's face was also gloomy. He said coldly, you have a glib tongue. Who knows if what you said is true or false? If you have anything to say it in the Crown Prince's palace. Boom. As soon as his voice fell, Han Fengyi didn't talk nonsense and directly attacked. With a wave of his hand, a huge claw grabbed at Lu Ming. The claw grabbed the light shield formed by the formation, causing a violent fluctuation. The whole palace shook violently. The formation of the palace was extremely mysterious. However, Han Fengyi's strength was too strong and unfathomable. This formation might not be able to stop him. Lu Ming's face turned gloomy. He didn't expect the Crown Prince's palace to be so overbearing. They didn't even bother to argue with him. Open! Han Fengyi shouted coldly as he continued to activate his strength. The formation shook continuously. If this continued, it wouldn't be long before the formation was broken. In the void far away, there were many experts from the Great Void Imperial family watching. However, since the Crown Prince's palace was involved, they couldn't interfere. In the Great Void Imperial family, not many people dared to offend the Crown Prince. Just as the formation was shaking more and more violently, a ray of divine light flew over from the distance and struck the hand that Han Fengyi had condensed. With a boom, the hand that Han Fengyi had condensed was directly destroyed. Who is it? How dare you? Han Fengyi shouted coldly as killing intent flashed in his eyes. Someone actually dared to stop him. Did they not want to live anymore? However, in the next moment, his pupils shrank and he revealed a look of fear. In the distance, a group of people was approaching. The man in the lead had a dignified appearance. He was the second prince. Han Fengyi, I think you're the one with the guts. The second prince said coldly. Han Fengyi's face turned ugly. In the Taishu dynasty, the second prince was one of the few who dared to go against the crown prince. He also had the ability to do so. Chapter 33-31. Second Prince, what do you mean by that? Han Fengyi asked with an ugly expression. What do I mean? This is the holy courtyard of the Great Void Imperial family. How dare you come here to arrest someone? Who gave you the courage? Is it my elder brother? The second prince said indifferently. Second Prince, this man has killed dozens of experts from the Crown Prince's residence. He has committed a heinous crime. I'm taking him back to the Crown Prince's residence for investigation, Han Fengyi said. I've said it before. I didn't kill the people from the Crown Prince's residence. It has nothing to do with me. If the Crown Prince's residence wants to convict me, I have nothing to say. Lu Ming interrupted. Shut up, brat, Han Fengyi shouted coldly. Hihi, can't you even defend yourself? Could it be that the Crown Prince's residence really is able to cover the sky with one hand, and has even greater authority than the Sage Emperor? Lu Ming sneered. He knew the relationship between the second prince and the Crown Prince. That was why he said that in front of the second prince. Han Fengyi's expression changed drastically. The Crown Prince wouldn't care if he said that in front of other people. However, it would be a big deal if he said that in front of the second prince. The second prince would use it to attack the Crown Prince. I have a rough idea of what happened. However, Lu Ming, why don't you tell me in detail what happened? The second prince said. Okay. Lu Ming nodded and immediately told the second prince about what happened in the broken universe. Of course, he wouldn't say that the heavenly human tribe was chasing after him. He only said that he didn't know that they were nearby. Oh, so Liu Quan and Mu Yuan wanted to kill you, but they were unlucky. So many experts were killed by the monsters. The second prince said. Yes, that's right. I was lucky and they were unlucky. How can you blame me for that? I'm speechless. Lu Ming gave a long sigh, looking as if he had been greatly wronged. You're talking nonsense. You must have known that the monsters were around. I guess those monsters wanted to kill you. You deliberately killed us. Liu Quan shouted. Evidence. Where's the evidence? You need evidence. Lu Ming said indifferently. Liu Quan and Mu Yuan were about to vomit blood. How could they have any evidence? Let's take a step back and assume that I already knew about those monsters, but at that time, you were the ones who wanted to kill me. What you're saying is that all of you wanted to kill me, and I should have warned you that there were monsters here and not come over, right? Lu Ming spoke nonchalantly, his tone full of sarcasm. Liu Quan and Mu Yuan trembled with anger. However, they could not refute Lu Ming's words. Tell Big Brother. The second prince waved his hand. However, he didn't have any evidence, so he could only retreat. Otherwise, the second prince would be able to use it against the Crown Prince. He did not expect that the second prince would suddenly appear. If not for the second prince, he could not be bothered with what Lu Ming said. He would just capture him directly. Farewell. Han Fengyi said coldly. In the end, he took Liu Quan and Mu Yuan and left with their tails between their legs. Lu Ming thanks second prince for your help. Lu Ming stepped out and clasped his fists at the second prince. You're welcome. I heard someone reporting and rushed over. It's good that you're fine. The second prince smiled. It was very gentle and gave people the feeling of a spring breeze. Lu Ming knew that the second prince was trying to win people's hearts. Obviously, the second prince had taken a fancy to Lu Ming's talent. No matter what, I still have to thank second prince for your help. Lu Ming said. Haha, if you really want to thank me, you can come to my place more often. Who knows, I might need your help in the future. The second prince smiled. Lu Ming will definitely return today's favor to second prince. Lu Ming said in a tone that was neither humble nor overbearing. Rumble. Just at this moment, a loud rumbling sound came from afar. A terrifying aura spread out from afar, as if a giant beast was charging over. The entire place fell into a heavy silence. How terrifying. Many people turned pale and trembled. They almost knelt down. The aura was too terrifying. It was unimaginably powerful. The entire Taishu Imperial Sacred Courtyard was shrouded in it. Even the second prince's face turned solemn as he looked in that direction. In the next moment, a figure appeared in that direction. The state preceptor. Many people were shocked. That figure was the state preceptor. The aura came from the state preceptor. Many people were relieved. The state preceptor was the pinnacle of the Taishu dynasty. It was normal for him to have such a terrifying aura. However, why did the state preceptor suddenly come to the Taishu Imperial Sacred Courtyard with a strong murderous intent? Many people were puzzled. This guy. Lu Ming's pupils shrank. He had a feeling that the state preceptor was coming for him. As expected, the state preceptor saw Lu Ming as soon as he arrived. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. However, when he saw the second prince beside Lu Ming, his pupils shrank. He was surprised that the second prince was here. The state preceptor was very fast. In the next moment, he was in front of them. State preceptor, what are you doing? You are the state preceptor. How can you rush into the Taishu imperial sacred courtyard with murderous intent? The second prince said coldly. Second prince, I'm here to avenge my son, Wu Fan. The state preceptor said. His face was ferocious and filled with murderous intent. These words caused the hearts of the people present to tremble even more. What? Wu Fan is dead. How is that possible? I heard that Wu Fan entered the broken universe but didn't come out. Not only that, no one from the state preceptor's residence came out. How could such a thing happen? Who is so bold as to kill Wu Fan? The scene was in an uproar. The second prince's eyes also moved. He was surprised and asked, State preceptor, who killed Wu Fan? It's him, Lu Ming. The state preceptor looked at Lu Ming. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. It's him again. Many people were tongue-tied and they looked at Lu Ming in unison. First, it was the people from the crown prince's residence. Now, it was the state preceptor. What did Lu Ming do in the broken universe? I didn't kill Wu Fan. Lu Ming answered calmly. If it's not you, then who is it? The state preceptor said. State preceptor, you said that I killed Wu Fan. Do you have evidence, witnesses, or material evidence? Lu Ming said. He had already taken care of this matter. No one would know that he killed Wu Fan. The state preceptor was completely guessing. There's no need for evidence. You killed him. How dare you kill my son? You must die. The state preceptor roared. His murderous intent was extremely strong. The higher the cultivation, the harder it was to have children. With the state preceptor's cultivation, it was rare for him to have Wu Fan. Now that Wu Fan was killed, he was going crazy. Chapter 33-32. You don't have any evidence and yet you say that I killed him. The Grand Preceptor is indeed powerful and can convict people as he pleases. Lu Ming shouted coldly. Whether you killed him or not, we will know once we take you down and search your soul. The Grand Preceptor's voice was cold. He took a step forward and his overwhelming aura pressed down on Lu Ming. At this moment, an old man beside the second prince stepped forward and shouted. He released a powerful aura to resist the Grand Preceptor's aura. Terrifying explosions sounded. The old man beside the second prince trembled violently and retreated continuously. He was obviously no match for the Grand Preceptor. Second prince, this man killed my son, Wu Fan. He must die. Don't force me to fight with you. The Grand Preceptor's hair and beard fluttered. He was extremely violent and had truly gone mad. Although he didn't have any evidence, he was 80% sure that Wu Fan was killed by Lu Ming. This was because he knew that Wu Fan wanted to kill Lu Ming in the broken universe. Now that Lu Ming was alive and well, Wu Fan was dead. If it wasn't Lu Ming who killed him, who else could it be? The second prince frowned. The Grand Preceptor's current state was extremely unstable. If he interfered, the Grand Preceptor might really fight with him. Although he valued Lu Ming and wanted to rope in Lu Ming, it was obviously not worth it to fight the Grand Preceptor head-on because of Lu Ming. The second prince gave his subordinates a look and they retreated silently. Little bastard, die. The Grand Preceptor stared at Lu Ming with bloodshot eyes. He roared and charged towards Lu Ming. Damn it, Lu Ming roared in his heart. He had underestimated the overbearingness of the upper echelons of the Taishu dynasty. He didn't expect them to want to kill him without any evidence. In the face of such a person, he didn't have the strength to fight back. His body couldn't move at all. Young Master, Autumn Moon cried out in alarm. She was incomparably anxious. She wanted to help, but her body could not move. It was simply impossible. When it seemed like Lu Ming was about to die at the hands of the state preceptor, the space before Lu Ming suddenly fluctuated, and then a white-haired old man suddenly appeared. The old man waved his hand, and a divine light burst forth, breaking the Imperial Advisor's attack. Lu Ming's body became light, and he immediately regained his freedom. Old Heavenly King, Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This figure that suddenly appeared was Thousand Saint Old Heavenly King. It's Old Heavenly King Qiansheng, the others also exclaimed in surprise. The Imperial Master's face hardened. He stared at Holy Thousand Heavenly King and said, "Holy Thousand Heavenly King, this has nothing to do with you. I find this little fellow pleasing to the eye. How is it none of my business?" Thousand Saint Old Heavenly King said indifferently, "He killed my son, Wu Fan. No matter who he is, he must die." The Imperial Preceptor roared with a violent aura. "If you want to condemn someone, you can always find a pretext. You just want to find someone to accompany Wu Fan to the grave." Lu Ming shouted. "Whether you killed him or not, I will know after I search your soul," the Imperial Preceptor said coldly. Without wasting any time, he charged towards Lu Ming. A terrifying attack erupted, and the entire Great Void Imperial Family Holy Courtyard shook continuously, as if it was about to explode. Not only that, the aura spread out and filled the entire Great Void Imperial City. Countless experts in the Great Void Imperial City felt as if there was a huge rock pressing down on them. This old man hasn't fought for a long time. Today, I will see what the State Preceptor is capable of, the Old Heavenly King said as he stepped out, and a terrifying aura rushed out from his body. The aura of the two continued to clash, and the pressure on the scene became even more terrifying. "Activate the array." A loud shout came from the Great Void Imperial Family Holy Courtyard. The experts of the Great Void Imperial Family Holy Courtyard were alarmed. Many terrifying experts appeared and activated the array. Countless runes appeared in the Great Void Imperial Family Holy Courtyard, and the entire Great Void Imperial Family Holy Courtyard was shrouded in it. They were afraid that the two terrifying existences would destroy the Great Void Imperial Family Holy Courtyard. Swoosh! Swoosh! Suddenly, the Imperial Preceptor and the Old Heavenly King shot up into the sky and into the starry sky of the universe, and a huge battle broke out. Although the Imperial Preceptor was furious, he had not lost his mind. With their cultivation, if they were to fight in the Great Void Imperial City, it would be devastating. He would not be able to bear the consequences. Therefore, they rushed into the starry sky to fight. Boom! In the starry sky, there was a terrifying explosion, and a heavy pressure pressed down on everyone in the Great Void Imperial City. Then, in the starry sky, it was as if a planet had exploded, and a bright light shone. Boom! 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 Then, more and more bright lights appeared, and it was as if many planets had exploded in the sky, filling the starry sky. This was the battle between the Imperial Preceptor and the Old Heavenly King. It was terrifying. Lu Ming raised his head, but he could not see the trajectory of the battle at all. He could only see bright lights shining one after another. Only a few people could see the trajectory of the battle, such as the second prince, an old man beside him, and some elders of the Great Void Imperial Family Holy Courtyard. There were also some terrifying experts who were cultivating in seclusion in the Great Void Imperial City. These people raised their heads to watch, and their faces were solemn. A battle of this level was not something that could be easily seen. In the starry sky, the entire starry sky was trembling like water waves. The planets further away were swept by the terrifying shockwaves and exploded. The two of them fought for a long time, and the starry sky suddenly quietened down. In the next moment, a figure appeared in front of Lu Ming. It was the Old Heavenly King. Lu Ming quickly looked over and saw that the Old Heavenly King's face was ruddy, and his aura was stable. He was fine. In the next moment, the Imperial Preceptor's figure appeared not far away. However, the Imperial Preceptor's condition was much worse. His face was pale, and his body was trembling slightly. There was a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. It was obvious that the Imperial Preceptor had lost. He was no match for the Old Heavenly King. "Please go back." The Old Heavenly King waved his hand. "The revenge of my son's death is irreconcilable," the Imperial Preceptor said coldly. He was still filled with killing intent and did not want to let Lu Ming go. "I've said that I didn't kill Wu Fan. If you have evidence, take it out. Otherwise, I'll report you to the Sacred Emperor for abusing your power for personal gain, abusing your authority, and bullying the weak," Lu Ming shouted. He was also angry. I'll search your soul and you'll know. The Imperial Preceptor still wanted to search his soul. What the F***CK? You want to search the soul of whoever you suspect. If I suspect that you've emptied the treasury and colluded with the barbarian race, I'll search your soul too. Are you willing to do that? Lu Ming shouted. How dare you slander me? The Imperial Preceptor was furious. He wanted to slap Lu Ming to death. Of course, he couldn't do it with the old Heavenly King around. I think Lu Ming is right. If you want to search his soul without evidence, he can search yours. Why don't you two exchange? I have no objections. The old Heavenly King said. The Imperial Preceptor's eyes flashed fiercely. However, he definitely couldn't let his soul be searched. He was the only one who knew how many evil deeds he had committed in secret to get to where he was now. Wouldn't everything be exposed if his soul was searched? Dragon Emperor Wan Dao, Dragon Emperor Wan Dao. Chapter 33-33. The Imperial Tutor's face darkened. He knew that with Holy Old Heavenly King here, it would be hard to touch Lu Ming. Moreover, after the battle with Holy Old Heavenly King, the Imperial Tutor had calmed down. Previously, when he heard that Wu Fan had not come out, he took out Wu Fan's life spirit token and found out that Wu Fan had died. He was instantly enraged and lost his head in anger. Actually, with his status as the Imperial Tutor, it was extremely unwise for him to barge into the Great Void Imperial family's holy court to kill a genius disciple. Because in the broken universe, killing each other was a common thing. Even if Wu Fan was killed by Lu Ming, it would be normal. He could only blame himself for not being skilled enough. Moreover, he did not have evidence to prove that Wu Fan was killed by Lu Ming. It was purely a guess. In this case, his opponents would definitely use this matter to attack him and impeach him in front of the Saint Emperor. Moreover, the second prince was present at the scene. The impeachment was definitely going to happen. As the Imperial Tutor, he had barged into the Great Void Imperial family's holy court like a mad wild beast. He wanted to kill someone without any evidence in front of countless people. This was a huge taboo. If the upper echelons of the Taishu dynasty did this, who would dare to work for the Taishu dynasty? After the Imperial Tutor calmed down and thought of the consequences, he finally wanted to retreat. Lu Ming, did my son, Wu Fan, die in your hands? I will investigate this matter sooner or later. Let's wait and see. The Imperial Tutor said coldly and then slowly retreated. State Preceptor, I will personally meet with His Majesty the Sage Emperor regarding this matter. I would like to ask His Majesty the Sage Emperor if he is the State Preceptor, can he do as he pleases? Holy Old Heavenly King said. The Imperial Tutor's face darkened. He snorted and retreated. Lu Ming secretly heaved a sigh of relief. This time, it was really dangerous. If not for Holy Old Heavenly King, he would really be in danger. He would have been crushed to death by the Imperial Tutor. Lu Ming, thank you again, Holy Old Heavenly King. Lu Ming cupped his fists and thanked Holy Old Heavenly King solemnly. Holy Old Heavenly King had already helped him twice, so he was extremely grateful to him. Lu Ming, I will immediately meet with His Majesty the Sage Emperor and impeach the Imperial Preceptor. After this incident, the Imperial Preceptor probably won't dare to personally deal with you, but he definitely won't give up. He will secretly send people to deal with you. You must be careful. Old Heavenly King Thousand Saints warned. Thank you, Senior. Lu Ming will be careful. Lu Ming nodded. Second Prince, why don't you accompany me to the Imperial Palace? Then, Thousand Saints Old Heavenly King looked at the Second Prince. How could I not accept the invitation of the Old Heavenly King? Old Heavenly King, please. The Second Prince smiled. The State Preceptor was the Crown Prince's right-hand man. Impeaching the State Preceptor and attacking him was exactly what he wanted. How could he not go? Furthermore, with Old Heavenly King Thousand Saints with him, he couldn't wait. Holy Old Heavenly King and Second Prince immediately left for the Imperial Palace. Young Master, are you all right? Autumn Moon flew over and looked at Lu Ming worriedly. I'm fine. Let's leave this place first. Lu Ming said. Now that he had the primordial deity statue, he didn't want to stay in the Taishu Imperial Sacred Academy. After today's incident, he understood that it was usually very safe to stay in the Taishu Imperial family's sacred courtyard. However, the Taishu Imperial family's sacred courtyard wouldn't give him any protection when facing the top figures of the Taishu sacred dynasty. It was better to stay in Blue Merchant's residence. At least there were elites of the Dark Ape fighting tribe there. If he encountered danger, the elites of the Dark Ape fighting tribe would definitely fight to the death. Moreover, now that he could start his own family, he wanted to ask Blue Merchant about the specific plan of starting his family. Lu Ming and Autumn Moon immediately left the Taishu Imperial Sacred Academy and returned to Blue Merchant's residence. After returning, Lu Ming went to Blue Merchant to ask about the matter of starting a family and how to choose the location. Choosing the location of the family was also very important. It would affect the future development. Of course, we have to choose a place with potential, Blue Merchant said. Then, he took out a jade talisman. The jade talisman glowed, and a starry sky pattern appeared in the air. The pattern was densely packed with tiny dots of light. Those dots of light were the famous planets of life. They were very small. If Lu Ming's eyes were sharp, most people wouldn't be able to see them. Many light spots formed galaxies. Hundreds and thousands of galaxies then formed star fields. This is the map of the Taishu dynasty's territory, Blue Merchant said. Sure enough, Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. The Taishu dynasty's territory was really vast. The Taishu dynasty's territory is mainly divided into two parts. The most central part is controlled by the Taishu dynasty's royal family. It's the largest part. Blue Merchant reached out his hand and drew a circle in the air. A circle of light circled the center of the territory. The center of the circle took up about half of the entire map. These were all the territories controlled by the Taishu dynasty's royal family. Other than the central region, the surrounding regions are the territories of the various mansions of the Taishu Holy Dynasty. The residence of the soldiers, residence of the general, residence of the marquis, residence of the heavenly kings, residence of the great and small mansions occupy the outer region. Moreover, the various major families have been fighting and killing each other. The Taishu Holy Dynasty has always turned a blind eye to this. Now, the outer regions have been taken over by the various major families. It will be difficult to establish a family here and develop quickly, Blue Merchant said. Then where should we choose? Lu Ming asked. Here. Lan Shong pointed to the west, at the outermost region of the territory. The west side of the Taishu dynasty is close to the barbarian tribe. They have been fighting with the barbarian tribe all year round. This area is the most chaotic, especially the border with the barbarian tribe. There are many star regions that are extremely chaotic. Interstellar pirates run amok, big and small forces fight and kill each other. Neither the Taishu dynasty nor the barbarian tribe can fully control this area. It's the easiest area to establish a family and develop. Furthermore, according to the rules of the Taishu Sacred Court, the first mansion to be established is the lowest level of Soldier's Mansion. If you want to be promoted, you can only earn merits. Killing space pirates and killing barbarians can earn merits. The more merits you earn, the more planets you can control, more territories you can take in, and more experts you can recruit, Blue Merchant said. Okay, we'll choose this area. Lu Ming nodded and made his decision. The more chaotic the place was, the more opportunities there were. Choosing a relatively stable place with a relatively stable force would make it difficult for them to develop. After that, Lu Ming and Blue Merchant continued to discuss the details of establishing a family and family. After a full day of discussion, all the details were put in place. The next day, Lu Ming and Blue Merchant went to the Grand Council. To establish a family and family, one must first be reviewed and supervised by the Grand Council. Lu Ming had the token given by the Sacred Emperor, so he easily passed the review. Myriad Dao Dragon Emperor. Chapter 33-34. After easily passing the review, Lu Ming received a large rest image stone. This rest image stone was used to record one's contributions. For example, When Lu Ming brought people to kill interstellar pirates, he had to use this rest image stone to record it and submit it to the Grand Council. After the review, he would be rewarded accordingly. It was the same for hunting the barbarian tribe. The amount of contributions would be recorded by the rest image stone and could not be faked. After everything was settled, Lu Ming and Blue Merchant returned to their residence. Without any hesitation, they set off with Autumn Moon, Lan Ling, and the elites of the Nether Ape Fighting Tribe. They set off secretly and no one else noticed. The distance between the Taishu sacred capital and the western frontier was too far. However, the Taishu sacred capital was connected by a wormhole. Using the wormhole, they arrived at the western frontier in a short time. Our target is the Heavenly Chaos Starfield, a starfield at the border between the Taishu dynasty and the barbarian tribe. First, we need to find a planet with life to settle down as the foundation of our tribe, Blue Merchant said. He took out a map and looked at it. This was a map of the Heavenly Chaos Starfield. It was very detailed and even marked out the major and minor galaxies, as well as some of the stronger forces. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Fortunately, he had Blue Merchant's help. Blue Merchant had already made some plans before this. If it were him, he would have been confused. Then, Blue Merchant pointed at one of the planets and zoomed in quickly. This planet is called the Hidden Dragon Planet. It is occupied by a group of interstellar pirates. The environment on this planet is very good and the divine chi is rich. It is a good place for cultivation and is most suitable for the early stage. Lu Ming, what do you think? Blue Merchant asked Lu Ming. Hidden Dragon Planet, what a good name. Let's go with this planet. Lu Ming said with a smile. All right, let's go. Blue Merchant said. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, they turned into streaks of light and flew toward the Heaven Chaos Starfield. Lan Ling's cultivation was the weakest in the group, so she was carried by Blue Merchant. The others flew toward the Heaven Chaos Starfield at an astonishing speed. After flying past many planets, more than 10 days later, a huge planet appeared in front of Lu Ming and the rest. This planet was the Hidden Dragon Star. It's a pity that such a good planet was taken over by a bunch of interstellar pirates. From now on, you'll be famous in the hands of Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled. He took the lead and flew toward the Hidden Dragon Star. Blue Merchant and the others followed closely behind. Who are you? Stop. At this moment, a loud shout rang out, and a group of people appeared, blocking Lu Ming's path. This group of people all had ferocious faces, and they were divided into 7 or 8 different races. They all stared at Lu Ming and the others with murderous intent. Who are you? Why are you sneaking around the Hidden Dragon Star? One of the brawny men holding a large saber said. He stared at Lu Ming with murderous intent and waved his saber. Who are we? It doesn't matter if I tell you. We're from the Taishu dynasty. We're here to annihilate you, Lu Ming said with a smile. What? The brawny man in the black robe and the others obviously didn't expect Lu Ming to tell them his purpose directly. They were stunned for a moment, then they roared, the Taishu dynasty is here. Send a message to the commander. Immediately, someone took out a jade talisman and began to send a message. Someone else took out a jade talisman to send a signal to inform the other interstellar pirates. Suddenly, the entire Hidden Dragon Star began to move. Huge interstellar battleships flew out and rushed toward them. Lu Ming and the others didn't move at all. They just watched the other party send a message. It would be easier to solve the problem if the other party sent a message together. All right, I can take care of you now, Lu Ming said indifferently. Then, a huge breathing shadow stone flew out and floated above Lu Ming's head. These interstellar pirates were also meritorious. Of course, he had to record them. He couldn't let them go to waste. Then, Lu Ming stepped forward and walked forward. Kid, you're courting death. Brothers, kill them. The brawny man in the lead shouted angrily. He waved his large saber and charged toward Lu Ming. This brawny man was in the 4th layer of the King God realm. He wasn't weak. The other interstellar pirates were in the 1st layer of the King God realm to the 4th layer of the King God realm. The weakest one was a half-step King God realm. Bang! Lu Ming took a step forward. The void shook violently. Then, dragon roars resounded in the sky. In an instant, dozens of nine-clawed dragons flew out and pounced on the interstellar pirates. Oh no, the brawny man in the lead turned pale. He turned around and wanted to escape, but it was too late. A nine-clawed dragon caught up with him. The dragon claw tore the brawny man into pieces and he died on the spot. The other interstellar pirates were even weaker. They couldn't resist and were killed one by one. Go. Kill them, Lu Ming said. They pounced toward the hidden dragon star. Bastards of the Taishu dynasty, how dare you make trouble on the hidden dragon star? Kill them all. There were at least a dozen huge interstellar battleships. Each of them was 1,000 miles long. They were incomparably huge. They crashed toward Lu Ming and the others. A loud roar came from the middle battleship. Good timing. Leave the middle battleship to me. You can do whatever you want with the rest, Lu Ming said to the Nether Ape Battle Tribe. After that, Lu Ming rushed toward the middle battleship. He used the heavenly demon golden body and punched it. Kill him. A loud roar came from the battleship. Then, runes appeared on the battleship. Following that, a beam of light flew out from the front of the battleship and blasted toward Lu Ming. This kind of interstellar battleship not only had the ability to fly quickly and carry people, but it could also launch attacks. It was very powerful. Lu Ming punched the beam of light. The beam of light could not withstand a single blow from Lu Ming and was shattered. Boom. In the end, Lu Ming punched the front of the battleship. The entire battleship shook violently and kept exploding. Debris flew everywhere. The front of the battleship exploded. Then, the terrifying force of the punch spread to the entire battleship. Cracks appeared on the battleship. In the end, the entire battleship disintegrated. The scene of a 1,000-mile-long battleship exploding with a punch was extremely shocking. The battleship shattered, and a few thousand people flew out of it. Oh no, retreat! Someone shouted. To be able to destroy a 1,000-mile-long battleship with a punch, this kind of strength was too terrifying. He was at least in the 8th layer of the King God realm. He was not someone they could deal with. They knew that the people who came this time were too strong. You want to leave? Kill them all. Don't leave a single one alive, Lu Ming said coldly. Before he came, he had already done his research. He knew that these interstellar pirates were scum. They would commit all kinds of crimes and their methods were ruthless. They would often exterminate entire families. Every one of them was a vicious person. Their hands were stained with blood. They were all people who deserved to be killed. Lu Ming would not show mercy to these people. Myriad Dao Dragon Emperor. Chapter 33-35. Kill. The elites of the Nether Ape Battle Tribe charged forward. Of course, Yuan Song and the other Divine Lords did not attack as they did not need to. This group of interstellar pirates was considered a small group of pirates in the heavenly chaos starfield. The strongest of them was only in the 6th heaven of the Divine King realm. There was no need for the Divine Lords to attack. Any of the Nether Ape Battle Tribe members could easily take care of them. Kill. Some of the Nether Ape Battle Tribe members charged forward. This was a battle without any suspense. Soon, almost all of the interstellar pirates were killed. Lu Ming recorded everything with the rest Shadow Stone. After that, the elites of the Nether Ape Battle Tribe searched the entire planet and killed all of the interstellar pirates. After that, they chose a better location and started to build a city. Building a city with their cultivation was like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Soon, a huge city rose from the ground and appeared between the heavens and earth. After the city was built, Blue Merchant started to set up arrays around the city. There were all kinds of defensive and offensive arrays. In the future, this would be their base. Naturally, they had to set it up properly. After a few months, the city looked brand new. It was complete. Lu Ming and the others entered the city. After that, Blue Merchant started to set up the planet formation all over the planet. This was a huge project that could not be completed in a short period of time. Lu Ming started to think about the development of the city. Now that they had conquered a planet and had a foothold, they could officially establish the military residence. However, first, they had to report it to the Grand Council. Then, they could officially establish the residence and recruit elites to join them. After that, Lu Ming sent an elite of the Nether Ape Battle Tribe to report back to the Great Illusionary Saint Capital with the order to establish the residence. In less than a month, the Nether Ape Battle Tribe member returned. Everything was done. However, Lu Ming did not have any plans to recruit anyone for the time being. He would wait until things settled down. Lu Ming was thinking about how to accumulate more merits to raise the rank of the military residence. However, even if the soldiers' mansion started to recruit people, there wouldn't be many experts who would join them. Recruiting people with low cultivation wouldn't be of much use. Blue Merchant also suggested that they wait for a while before recruiting. This was because Blue Merchant planned to set up a large formation. This great formation was specially used to recruit people, and it could test one's heart. If there were any dishonest people or people with ulterior motives who entered the formation, they would be able to detect them. Lu Ming had many enemies. If he were to recruit people, there was no guarantee that his enemies would not send people to sneak in. Therefore, this kind of grand formation was extremely important. For the time being, Lu Ming planned to eliminate some interstellar pirates nearby to accumulate merits. Right now, the Heaven Chaos Starfield was in chaos. They were mainly divided into several camps. One of them was the Interstellar Pirates. There were many interstellar pirates of all sizes. The other one was from the Taishu dynasty. Lu Ming was not the only one who chose to establish a clan here. There were also students from the previous batch of the Sacred Academy of the Taishu dynasty. There were also some who had developed for a long time. The third force was the Barbarian race. The Barbarian race, the Taishu dynasty, and the interstellar pirates were attacking each other. It could be said that it was a mess. More importantly, the various clans of the Taishu dynasty were also in a competitive relationship. It was common for them to attack each other and kill each other. Lu Ming made a plan. Then, he left the Hidden Dragon Star with some Nether Ape Fighting clan members and headed west. Not far from them, there was a group of strong interstellar pirates gathered. This group of interstellar pirates was much stronger than the group that Lu Ming and the others had eliminated. If they were eliminated, they would get a lot of merits. A few days later, Lu Ming and the others arrived near a galaxy. Looking from afar, there were many huge interstellar battleships flying and patrolling near this galaxy. The whole galaxy was like an iron bucket built by this group of interstellar pirates. Boom! Suddenly, there was a violent explosion in another direction. Lu Ming and the others were slightly stunned. They had not made a move yet. Why was there a movement in that direction? In the next moment, Lu Ming understood that there was an attack in that direction. Could it be people from other clans? Lu Ming thought. There were many clans of the Taishu dynasty in the Heavenly Chaos Galaxy. Naturally, there were also people who were targeting these interstellar pirates and wanted to eliminate them to gain merits. Someone is attacking. Suddenly, one of the interstellar pirates shouted. The news quickly spread to the core of the galaxy. In a few minutes, there were beams of light flying over from the core of the galaxy. They were all powerful interstellar pirates. They were all heading in that direction. Let's go in too. Lu Ming instructed the Nether Ape Fighting clan members that he had brought along. They set off, spreading their bodies and dashing in this direction. This place is still. They had just reached the periphery of the galaxy when the patrolling pirates noticed them. Just as they were about to shout, a Nether Ape Fighting clan member stepped out and threw a punch. This Nether Ape Fighting clan member was a divine lord that Lu Ming had brought along. He was extremely powerful. His fist rapidly grew in size until it covered an area of the starry sky. A huge explosion occurred in the void. Rumble. The interstellar pirates in front of them, including the patrolling battleships, exploded and turned into dust. They did not even have time to spread the news. Let's go in. Lu Ming and the others rushed in and went straight to the core of the galaxy. In the core of the galaxy, there was a planet that was relatively close to the central star. Needless to say, this was the nest of the interstellar pirates. Lu Ming and the others rushed in and killed their way to the core of the galaxy. After rushing there, they did not stop at all. The Nether Ape fighting clan members killed their way down. Whenever they saw a pirate, they would not show any mercy and would attack mercilessly. As for Lu Ming, he held the breathing shadow stone high and recorded everything. Enemy attack. The elites on the planet had noticed Lu Ming and the others. Countless figures rushed out from various buildings. However, as soon as they rushed out, they were attacked by the Nether Ape fighting clan members and were killed mercilessly. You bastards of the Taishu dynasty, you are courting death. Suddenly, a furious roar was heard. A terrifying aura rushed out from the depths of the planet. A peak divine king. There is a peak divine king among this group of interstellar pirate. Lu Ming was slightly taken aback. This was somewhat beyond his expectations. In the next moment, a burly figure rushed out. It was a ferocious Bear Clan member. He was burly and held a battle axe in his hand. His eyes were cold. He was the leader of this group of interstellar pirates, a peak divine king. Die! The leader of the ferocious Bear Clan shouted and swung his battle axe. You are the one who will die. The Divine Lord Nether Ape fighting clan member attacked with a punch. Chapter 33-36. The Divine Lord Realm Dark Ape struck out with his fist, causing the void to explode. A terrifying fist pressure instantly enveloped the pirate leader. Divine Lord, the pirate leader screamed in fear, but in the next moment, his body exploded and turned into ashes. Facing a Divine Lord, even a Divine King would be killed instantly. Run! When the pirates saw that the pirate leader had been killed in an instant, even though they were all fugitives, they were almost scared to death. They turned and ran. But how could they escape from the hands of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe? The Dark Ape Battle Tribe members charged forward. Every time they attacked, a large number of interstellar pirates were killed. Lu Ming recorded everything with the Repose Shadow Stone. The Repose Shadow Stone was specially made by the Grand Council. It was very magical and could even identify the level of cultivation. The Repose Shadow Stone could identify the level of cultivation of those who were recorded. This was also to make it easier to record credits. The stronger the enemy he killed, the more contribution he would receive. Soon, almost all the interstellar pirates on the planet were killed. Only a few cats and dogs were left. They fled in panic. Lu Ming and the rest did not bother to care about them. After collecting the storage rings of the interstellar pirates, they entered the nest of the interstellar pirates and found a large number of treasures. There were all kinds of forging materials, alchemy materials, and divine artifacts of various levels. Lu Ming took all of them without hesitation. These would be useful as the number of people increased in the future. After clearing out all the treasures and making sure there was nothing left, they left. In the direction of the galaxy, there was still a fierce battle going on. Let's go take a look, Lu Ming said and flew in that direction with the Dark Ape Battle Tribe. When they got close to the battlefield, they found that the battle cries had weakened. The interstellar pirates were defeated. A large number of interstellar pirates were killed, and the remaining few fled in panic. Then, a group of people rushed over. When they saw Lu Ming, they rushed toward Lu Ming and the rest. There were tens of thousands of them. Lu Ming and the rest only had about 100 people. The difference in numbers was too big. Interstellar pirates, kill them. The leader was a yellow-robed young man who looked to be in his 30s. His gaze was cold as he gave the order. Lu Ming was speechless. These people actually thought that they were interstellar pirates. Whoosh, whoosh. In the blink of an eye, at least several hundred attacks were launched towards Lu Ming's group. Roar. One of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members shouted angrily and took out a huge shield in front of him, blocking all of the attacks. It was mainly because Lu Ming hadn't given the order to attack. Otherwise, the Dark Ape Battle Tribe wouldn't have just defended themselves. They would have counterattacked. Wait a minute, you're from the Taishu dynasty, right? We're also from the Taishu dynasty, Lu Ming shouted loudly, his voice echoing throughout the entire arena. Stop! Hearing that Lu Ming and the others were from the Taishu dynasty, the young man waved his hand, and everyone stopped attacking. Are you from the Taishu dynasty? The young man stared at Lu Ming and the others. That's right, we're from the Taishu dynasty's soldier's mansion. This rest image stone can prove it, Lu Ming said. The young man looked at the rest image stone above Lu Ming's head twice. Obviously, he believed Lu Ming's words. So you're from the other soldier's mansion. That means you've already breached the interstellar pirate's nest? The yellow-robed young man asked. That's right, the interstellar pirate's nest has been breached. We're here to support you, Lu Ming said. Ha ha ha, support us? What a joke, with just the few of you. Beside the yellow-robed young man, a burly man laughed maniacally, full of contempt. The others laughed as well. That's enough. The yellow-robed young man raised his hand, and everyone stopped laughing. Since you've breached the interstellar pirate's nest, the treasures in the interstellar pirate's nest should be in your hands. Hand them over, and I'll let you leave safely, the yellow-robed young man said. Lu Ming was speechless. Why does this guy seem so confident? We're the ones who breached the interstellar pirate's nest. The pirate's treasures are our spoils of war. Why should we hand them over to you? Lu Ming was speechless. You breached it. How shameless. If I hadn't restrained the main force of the interstellar pirates, would you have had the chance to breach the interstellar pirate's nest? I'm already being lenient by not pursuing the matter of stealing my credit. You want to take the treasures of the interstellar pirates? You're dreaming. If you don't hand them over today, don't leave, the yellow-robed young man said coldly. Lu Ming was completely speechless and almost laughed out loud. This old man was really too confident. Lu Ming sized up the yellow-robed young man and realized that the strongest person beside him was only an 8th heaven divine king. The ones who fought with them were not the main force of the interstellar pirates. There was a peak god king in the lair of the interstellar pirates. If Lu Ming had not rushed in and exterminated the peak god king of the interstellar pirates, the young man in the yellow robe would have suffered heavy losses even if he had not been completely annihilated. Lu Ming had saved them, but in the eyes of the yellow-robed young man, it was Lu Ming who had taken advantage of the situation. I don't have time to waste on you. Let's go. Lu Ming didn't want to waste any more time with the yellow-robed young man and turned to leave. You want to leave? If you don't hand over the treasures today, don't even think about leaving. Take them down. Kill anyone who resist. The yellow-robed young man shouted. Boom. 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 Suddenly, the elites beside the yellow-robed young man unleashed their auras and attacked Lu Ming and the others. You must be tired of living. A few of the Nether Ape Combat Tribe members shouted angrily. Their eyes were filled with cold killing intent as they stepped forward. These Nether Ape Combat Tribe members were all 8th Heaven Divine Kings. As for the Divine Lords and Peak Divine Kings Nether Ape Combat Tribe members, they stood beside Lu Ming and didn't attack. They didn't even unleash their auras. In their eyes, the yellow-robed young man's group was weak even though they had the advantage in numbers. Stop. Palace Lord, please wait. An old man beside the yellow-robed young man shouted, stopping the others from attacking. The yellow-robed young man's face flashed coldly and he said, Why should we stop? Although they have a few 8th Heaven Divine Kings, we have more than enough people to kill them. Palace Lord, I feel that these people are not to be underestimated. There might be some elites among them. If we fight them, we will suffer heavy losses even if we win. The old man transmitted his voice to the yellow-robed young man. What should we do? Are we going to let them go just like that? The yellow-robed young man frowned. He still felt that they could deal with Lu Ming and the others. He didn't want to let Lu Ming and the others go so easily. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.